We live in a world that oftentimes seems cold, uncaring, and indifferent. To an adolescent, the high school years should represent some of the best times in that person's life. Sadly, this isn't the case for many of our teenagers. For these students, coping with everyday life can be difficult. Problems at home, drugs, gangs, and other distractions serve as barriers to the learning process. Education takes a back seat to the worries and troubles that many of our students face in their young lives. However, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Care centers have been established on the campuses of South Mountain, Camelback, and Trevor Brown High Schools. CARE, which stands for Clearinghouse, Advisement, Referral, and Education, is a collaboration between the City of Phoenix and the Phoenix Union High School District. The program received the Mayor's Excellence in Public Service Award, among other honors. The purpose of the CARE centers is to provide a variety of support services to a number of students who are in danger of dropping out of school. In addition, CARE centers provide a network of social service agencies to this student population in an effort to help these students and their families deal with the problems that negatively affect their ability to learn.
What we have come to realize is that we cannot educate a child that isn't healthy, and we cannot keep a child healthy that isn't educated. So again, our success is interconnected, and we're joining forces and building resources together to keep students successfully in school. And ultimately, I really believe that's what our program is about. It's about keeping youth successfully in school.
Perfect. Okay.
The CARE Center serves as a hub. It's a hub for bringing community resources to the school campus to complement existing school resources in terms of social services, to bring them all together so that we can provide continuity and care in addressing the needs of families.
What are you guys doing? What are you doing there?
Well, I've been doing.
The three high schools that currently have CARE centers, South Mountain, Camelback, and Trevor Brown, have seen an increased number of students using the counseling and referral services.
In a time, or at a time, when kids are gravitating towards each other and away from their parents and away from other adults, it's especially important to have an adult involved in the decision-making, problem-solving process, because these kids are facing real severe problems, and it requires that a solution be well thought out, and that person have some background and some expertise in coming to realistic solutions.
The CARE centers also function as a referral service to point kids in the right direction, depending on what their individual needs may be. Some of the agencies that are within this network include New Turf, a program whose focus is to reduce youth involvement in gang and criminal activity. The Department of Economic Security and Child Protective Services are also examples of the agencies that are part of the center's coalition. They provide family assistance and offer students help in dealing with the troubling circumstances surrounding child and sexual abuse. South Mountain High School became the first Phoenix Union school to establish a CARE center. In October of 1990, the City of Phoenix and the district decided that South Mountain was an appropriate location to start the first CARE center.
Well, of course, as principal at South Mountain High School, my main concern was for the students of South Mountain High School and the community of South Phoenix. And now at the district, I have a broader concern. I'm concerned for the students of South Mountain and South Phoenix. I'm also concerned with students all over the valley, all over the district, really. And one of my responsibilities in my role in the district is to coordinate student support services, counseling services, adjudicated youth services, social services with the community. And what I found is that we in the district mirrored what was the case at South Mountain prior to the implementation of the CARE Center, and that is that we had a lot of wonderful people doing very terrific things, but their resources were tapped and their skills didn't always match the intense needs that our kids have. So being able to expand the care center concept to Trevor Brown and Camelback, and hopefully in the future being able to expand it to all of the schools in our district, gives us an opportunity to provide the same kind of intense support and intense relief for our kids and families and the problems that they face that we were able to do at South Mountain and continue to do at South Mountain.
An important issue which school districts face nowadays is the fact they're being called upon to do a lot of different things. The mission used to be very clear and concise, and that is to educate. Now, because of the myriad of problems that students are bringing to school, they're also being asked to serve as counselors, as as social workers, as caseworkers, etc. And many schools, quite frankly, are not equipped to handle these types of things, challenges. The major advantage of school-based programs is really bringing the services to the community. Schools really are community centers. Schools are located in every neighborhood, and there's no way that you're going to be able to replicate that type of infrastructure when you already have that type of infrastructure already in place. So it's really bringing the services to an area, to a location that is really identifiable within the community. And schools represent that type of identification. People identify themselves based upon neighborhoods and based upon certain institutions.
In 1989, the city really realized that they had to take a much more proactive role in getting involved in schools to improve the quality of education and the quality of life for the youth in our city. The care centers were actually one of the first efforts that was where the city really went out and tried to work with the schools in terms of identifying a problem and trying to cooperatively develop a solution, which is what happened at South Mountain High School. I think the principal at the time, Art Lebowitz, had a need to deal with more of the social problems that the kids were coming to school with, and the city was looking at what role it could play. In the early stages of the care center, before there was staffing, there was a lot of convening of different groups that work with kids and discussing how kids could be served using the school as a site. I think the beauty of the care center is that it's really owned by everybody. I think the city feels a very strong ownership in it. I think the schools feel a very strong ownership, and I think what's happening with the way the care centers have been developed, that the community that they serve, the neighborhoods, are beginning to feel like they own it. And so I think that's really, really is a statement of success, both for the administration at the schools as well as the staffs of this care center, that they have been able to really build that kind of a relationship within the schools, that it feels like a part of the school fabric.
Since 1990, the Care Center at South Mountain High School has served more than 1,000 students. Many are referrals from the juvenile court. A study of the center's clients found that more than half of the students visiting the Care Center were seeking counseling as a result of personal conflicts.
Particularly in inner city schools, we find it important to serve students in more ways than just the classroom. And so with these care centers, we can bring social services right to the high school campuses, to the school grounds. And not only will that help the student, but we hope that the families will be better served. Many of our families are unable, for a variety of reasons, to find all the places in the community to knock on each door that they need for those services. So by bringing them to the campus, we hope to serve families and students more effectively.
The role of the student advocate is to serve as a resource person on the campus, coordinate with families, and facilitate programs to meet the needs of the students. I work very, very closely with administration in helping students and linking them with social services. A student advocate, in terms of a background, would be, my background particularly is coming from a chemical dependency, and working with students who in terms have had difficulties in their homes and with their peers. It's really to be a good listener is part of it, being a good listener and being, if you will, a sounding board for students and staff who might just need someone to talk to.
The success of the South Mountain Care Center prompted the city and the district to establish 2 more centers, one at Camelback and another one at Trevor Brown. The Camelback High School Care Center was established in 1994.
Limited resources are precisely the reason to have a care center. Schools are facing more and more the difficult task of educating complex kids with multiple needs, and schools have finite resources. So one of the major challenges of schools is to broker additional resources to help us meet those needs of students. And the Care Center is certainly one of those additional resources that enhance our ability to accomplish our objective, and that's educating kids.
Trevor Brown High School became the 3rd district school to establish a care center. The changing demographics of the student population and the increase of students with problems made the school a logical choice for a care center to serve the school's West Phoenix teenagers.
Care for us at Trevor Brown High School has really come to a point of really meaning that it improves and enhances the opportunity for students to succeed. And that's probably the bottom line. The more we can do to help a student to be successful, the better we've done our business. And that's proven itself. We have become the #1 in terms of the improvement, in terms of attendance in our school district. We've watched the students in terms of many who were failing. We've watched our number of students failing in classes decrease. And at the same time, we've also been able to watch and see a relationship between teachers and students which has been enhanced. Where before they might have saw a kid in trouble and not know what was going on, they can now reach that student and find out what it is that they may need help with, whether it's something at home or within the district in which we live. So certainly the idea of care at Trevor Brown means caring for kids. It also means success for kids who may not have otherwise have had success because we reached their needs.
The benefits that the students and their parents receive from establishing a community coalition of providers on campus are additional services. So having a coalition on our campus allows the students to receive that kind of services not available at the center, including employment, federal programs, city, county, energy assistance, assistance to pay their utility bills, telephone, food boxes, basic needs, shelter, food and clothing, employment, child protective services, transportation, and so forth. So it's indispensable for Trevor Brown High School to have a coalition of providers to meet the needs of our students.
They helped me a lot. They were very helpful. They helped me by listening to me, being there for me, to make decision answers of my difficulties that I was having. They were all the time there for me. They helped me a lot. And I'm planning to keep studying and study communications and go back to Mexico.
Another component of this program is a collaboration with Arizona State University, the district's Alternative Dropout Prevention Department, and the City of Phoenix. Through a partnership with the College of Social Work, graduate interns help provide services in all areas of the Care Center's operations.
So it's a terrific learning environment here. I get to think like a social worker for the first time, too, because you have to here. The kids come here with problems that could, they might need to have a food box, they might need to have shelter or a family intervention if they're having parent-child problems. I get to learn all the referrals that are necessary here and think of the dynamic of the environment and the person in it and all the different systems that might come into play. So.
Being able to come to work as an intern with the Care Center is helpful because you're working with an already established group of people who are tuned into the social service needs of the campus. So it's a good base to start to work from. It's a good group of people to be able to brainstorm, because every situation, you know, is always a new one. So it's always helpful to have people to staff cases with and make sure we're all sharing ideas and resources. I've been a CPS worker for a number of years, so I do bring with me a lot of experience. In my unit, I specialize with teenagers, so I found I've been able to bring a lot of my skills and resources to this population here.
The problems that our students are dealing with are the same problems that students everywhere in the country are struggling with. Abuse or neglect, lack of basic needs such as food, shelter, and clothing, pregnancy, homelessness, and substance abuse. All these lead to poor attendance in school, negative or destructive behavior, and put students in a situation where they are at risk of dropping out of school. The purpose of these care centers is to get kids connected to the services that they require, to help students who are going down the wrong path, who are delinquent, or who are getting into trouble with the law. And of course, the dual purpose of the care centers is not only to get kids connected to the services that they require, but to help keep kids from dropping out of school in the first place, so that they may continue their education and graduate. High school dropouts make up 75% of inmates in the nation's prisons. 80% of dropouts are on welfare, and 90% of dropouts live in poverty. Through the establishment of the care centers, the district and the city are taking steps to ensure that students' needs are met. While the 3 care centers are a start, the goal is to establish care centers at all of the Phoenix Union High School District's remaining campuses. Through the continued efforts of the district, City of Phoenix, and through partnerships with Arizona State University and the College of Social Work, we can all make a difference in a student's life. The end result will be a happy, well-adjusted high school graduate. And in the long run, our society benefits from this investment.